that sometimes I feel them around, sometimes I don't always, and I've been told they will migrate around the country. Like some of these different families will migrate. Yeah.
Uh, so, are you have you been in contact with them recently?
Telepathically, yes. I have not physically seen them in about, I would have to say about a year or so. But transparent, I will see them walking around, because they're in a different frequency and I can see into their frequency. Uh,
So somehow the idea came out that there's somehow some military black ops teams out there, maybe trying to capture them or something like that. I can see why the government or whatever you want to call it, the control system, would not want your average person to realize the reality of these Bigfoot, because you can't get very far into the knowledge of it until you realize, without a doubt, some of them at least have some type of interdimensional qualities or abilities to go in between dimensions. Is that right?
yes, and they have the ability to teach that, reteach us that ability, stuff we've forgotten.
Oh
And
my
these
gosh.
and they have the ability to show us this, like some of the upper echelon ones, like the Anakam people that I run into. Like some of them, they're the predecessor race to some of the Sasquatch people that I've interacted with, and they use what's known as a molecular cellular solid ability, where they can transmute, and they're trying to re-show us. A lot of the guides are trying to show us that too, but some of these Anakam people I ran into are trying to re-show us that.
That was just such a huge revelation that upon you saying that, because then I had thought, well, maybe whatever the quote unquote government didn't want us to realize that was even possible. I'm sure
Hmm.
they did not want us to realize that. But it somehow never crossed my mind that some of these Bigfoot might also want to teach us this, and I'm sure it has happened in the past or it could even be happening today.
Oh yeah, I ran into an Anakam by the name of Telnorskus, and Telnorskus told me that yeah, humans, along with some of his own people, his descendants, had forgotten a lot of this knowledge because of the warring times that happened when the spindly beings came here, with all like the energy farming and everything, and they were around to help teach us again how to combat these things. And they couldn't come out in the open and say it to us. They would risk capture, or they would be violating some kind of galactic law. But telepathically and through quantum intention speak, they can actually get away with that. And also, like some of the Sasquatch people here, like I said, I see them transparent, which shows they are in a different frequency that they're transmitting from. Even some of the Sasquatch that aren't quite of the Anakam people, that they're of like what we know of as Sasquatch, they still are in a different frequency. We deal with one by the name of Fuma here. That he's a big black, hairy Sasquatch, about maybe 10 feet tall. I would have to say 10, 11 feet tall. And he can actually pass into this frequency enough to where we can literally see him and wave at him and everything. And he did that to me up on Thumb Butte in the mountains here, where he was in a tree waving at me like, "Hey," and that was the first time I'd seen one of them in person. But the thing of it is, also people are capturing them on photographs, and that they. I got one in a photograph last year that I didn't see with my naked eye. I knew they were around because they were talking to me telepathically, but I snapped the picture, and you can clearly see there was a Sasquatch standing in the picture, full, from the chest up. He was behind a rock, but I could see.
In
Yeah.
real life, you couldn't see it, but the picture might.
Um, and I interact with that specific Sasquatch now. He called himself Mirnock, and he said he appeared in the photo for me. And another friend of mine caught a picture of Fuma, so when she was out in the wilderness. So I thought that was very interesting. That they are appearing on camera, but they also, I noticed they have tribal leadership type of construct in place as well. Like they have a chieftain for a certain area, or like some kind of like a tribal chief. They're very similar to Native American tribes with the chiefs in place, and they're very, very strict nature guardians. you do not want to piss off these guys. Like if you tear up like the landscape or the trees or anything like that, they are some of them are very very strict
Okay, so
nature guardian.
that brings up a question. Obviously, a Bigfoot could kill a human very easily. Um, now, why is it that it seems like they almost never do that?
There are several different kinds of them. Some of the darker ones, or the lost ones, as they call them. Some people call them face eaters or trolls. They are the more violent type ones that will literally kill humans, and they're much larger than Sasquatches. They're like 15 feet high. These guys, these are the ones that qualify as trolls, and these guys are also controlled by the very same AI that controls other humans too. And these guys are nasty. People mistake them for Sasquatch all the time, and they're more like a big baboon. They're not Sasquatch.
Yeah, I've heard descriptions like that of a baboon type.
Yeah, they are. They are also heavily telepathic as well, but they are more akin to the Draco reptilians. They're very similar in nature, and they can make you feel like you're constricted and your bones are being crushed and everything telepathically, and that's
Oh
just
wow.
horrendous.
What now? What on these ghost lights that I investigated, Ghost Light Road? What is their nature? What is their purpose? Why is it that they are right there on Ghost Light Road?
I think I remember last time when I was talking to you, I detected like more of an Anunnaki type presence with those, but there are orbs out there that are real Sasquatch related as well, like nature code related. The ones that you got a picture of the beings within, and it ranges anywhere from Anunnaki type sphere being orbs to fairies to Sasquatch. I've noticed that they run the gambit.
Oh wow, yeah. So I have also got footage of them of where they come from, and that is from underneath the ground, where they're actually
Hmm
coming from. So what? Do they have a base down there, or a little town, or something like that?
Well, the Greys and Archon Anunnaki type forces do live in bases underground.
Well, let me tell you
Uh,
this. I've got pictures of the entities of these beings, and one of the most things, the video is startling and everything, but even the stills taken from that, I mean, it's just the most mind-jarring thing you can imagine because it looks just like an ET with the big wraparound sunglasses and everything.
hmm
It's an intense kind of belong to me.
Yeah, that would be the Archontic Anunnaki type spindly guys, the ones that I'm always kicking out of places.
Okay,
That's them. Yeah.
so they got a
Uh,
base down there or what?
I feel like that there is definitely like a base like the Cabal have built down there. They could have even stolen something from the Agarthans too, because I've noticed that people that have dug down deep enough, they either encountered the good Agarthans or they've encountered spindly beings that they've had to fight off, or also they've discovered Sasquatch. Sasquatch also live down in the earth as well. They live down in so that the cave networks and down there, and some of them, the Anakam, are down in Agartha in the inner earth. So most of these beings are underneath our feet. And we don't even know it. We're walking right over them. We don't even know it.
So there's, obviously there's many dangers about like going into holes and dark old mines. I mean, it's just dangerous apparently anyway.
And also with mine. Oh, sorry. Uh,
No, well, no. What I was, in other words, is there any danger on going to Ghost Light Road and staying as long as you're above the ground?
I don't. No, there's no danger there as long as like you're going in and protecting yourself and saying that your creation itself, you're surrounded in your inner light, infinite core light, and everything, and also asking your benevolent guides to walk with you as you go through there and stay in that heart space frequency. You're in no danger whatsoever.
Okay,
Uh,
so how do I ultimately through meditation and stuff contact these guides that you're speaking of? I have my own personal guides. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, yes. They even though if you can't see them, if they're not in a frequency you can see, they can still hear you telepathically. They can hear everything you send towards them. Uh,
Are they with me right now?
I do see forms that are around you, but interesting. We were talking about Sasquatch, as I'm seeing a Sasquatch type being that's near your location here. Let me see here. I'm going to see if this being as a Sasquatch or a Nakam or what tribal affiliation. Because I see ape features, but I also see human features as well. Let me see, and I see the type with no neck. You know, the ones that are like scrunched up, and that usually tells me of Lemurian origin, or like like you have like the Samoan people that have like the larger necks. There is a Sasquatch type that look like that, that are like of a Lemurian, like Hawaiian look, and this guy seems to be that. Oh, and I'm seeing he's shaking his head. I have to make sure. I have to have him prove to me he's benevolent. I always ask them to show me their heart space so I can feel the open heart. There. Okay. Thank you. They have to hit a certain frequency that I can tell that no malevolence is intended. Uh, yeah, he's oh no, he's pointing to the ground, which he's showing me he's underground transmitting up to you. Uh, yeah, he's transmitting to you. Are you in the inner Earth, friend? Yeah, okay. What's your name? I want to see if I can get his name here. Let's see. They sometimes will have Native American sounding names. Sometimes they'll have very alien sounding names too. So yes, yes. He was protecting you somewhere. Let me see. Oh, he says your whole life. He says. Uh, Mm-hmm. That he may be a member of Soul Family. Let me see here. Yes? Yeah, your Soul Family. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. What's your name? Let me see if I can get his name here. He male, right? Yes. Okay. Uh, name is okay. That you're gonna have to dumb that name down. That's a long one. Okay. It starts with a T, kind of like your last name, but it's it sounds like your last name, but it's was it? It's okay. Oh, that's interesting. I haven't heard this name before. It's. Did you say Thera? The Theratos. Theratos is his name. Theratos.
Thelatos.
Mm-hmm. Are you? I'm asking him if he's a Nakam or if he's regular Sasquatch. Oh, Nakam. Okay. No wonder you have a name like that. Okay. Okay, that's an alien sounding name. Some of the Anakam originated from the Pleiades, so that's very interesting.
Is he
Uh,
is he like my bodyguard or something? Or what is he doing? Why is he with me all my life?
he says he's a soul brother or friend that agreed to watch over you while you are in the illusion here, being the Earth life. Um,
I've got. Does, what I wonder is if does he like me?
oh yeah, he's giving the thumbs up. They like to do this. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
Fascinating.
he's doing that. He's joking around, with my guides and stuff now, so I know he's legitimate. So,
Wow, fascinating.
hmm
So instead of guys, but I also have guys on top of this guy too, or
yes, he's saying a lot of spirit energies and a lot of interdimensional good energies. And I'm seeing orbs floating around him too. I'm seeing the I call it the Sasquatch or fairy elemental orbs that are around him. Um, he says some of what you've seen in your life are those are like him showing you this. Even though on the Spooklight ones, those were the bad guys. This is why people can't decide whether that a phenomenon is bad or good because it's both. So it runs the gambit. Oh yeah, he's definitely high density. I can kind of hardly see him even with my third eye. He's so high density. I'm asking which density he's from. Even if he has to use hand signs, he's doing this, which is number eight, eighth density. Uh, uh, eighth density. That's correct. Correct. Okay. Uh, uh, yeah, he's fairly big. I would have to say, if you saw him in person, if he manifested in person, he would be about what was that? Seriously? You're about 12 feet, 12, 13 feet, something like that.
That's pretty tall. So it's probably, but there's been times where there's been some maybe some stuff that I should have not made it out of that I lived through anyway, or that people have gotten scared and gone away. He's probably scared some people. He probably helped me before because I've been in some pretty violent situations.
Yes, yes, he has spooked people away from you. Some of these interdimensional beings can peer through the threshold at people and look at them. The reptilians are usually the ones known for pulling that crap on people, but I feel that like he's hit walls, made noises, rattled stuff, got people away from you that weren't for your highest good. Uh, that's what I feel.
When we very first started talking, you said that my third eye is trying to open, or it's partially open, or
Yeah, he just peeled something off of your third eye to make it even more open. There was a blocker on there that I didn't see, and now it's more round. No, sometimes the guides will put what I call cataracts over the third eye to protect your core from being traced because alien technology can trace bilocation and remote viewing. If people don't realize that, they figure, oh, it's in my own head, it can't be traced. Wrong. They can actually do that very easily. So the guides will protect you, but from yourself, from doing things in dream time, even in daydreams, where like maybe you're seeing images in your head of like something strange. You're actually bilocating inadvertently somewhere, astral projecting somewhere in your sleep, and you're basically walking through a den of predators and not even knowing it. And people do that all the time and don't realize that they'll wander in the military bases in their sleep too, in the dream time, and think, oh, that's a weird dream. I was going through a military base, going through their stuff. No, you were going into maybe an alien controlled sector of a base, and they got mad at you, and so they retaliate. I've seen that before. So he was protecting you from that type of thing. Hmm. He's very kind and benevolent. Does he have a family with him? Do you have a family? You have a family with you? Okay. There's several of them because I'm seeing a couple shorter ones like children with him, uh, of different colors. Like I see a blonde colored like female one, and that like she has more human features. I can see in the cheekbones here. Um, and who else is with you? Oh, little boy. Okay. Looks like. Hmm?
I wonder if he knows about destiny and grace.
He says, "Don't pay attention to the word destiny.
Uh-huh.
It's more or less a knowing. Like you have more of a knowing, a greater knowing that you came in with. Destiny is more of like, oh, this timeline is predestined. Yeah, there are like fixed points in history and time, but destiny is more attached to more of a noble like quest sort of thing, and it doesn't fall like a hero's quest sort of thing. And the hero's quest thing was more of a program. This is more or less a knowing you came in with to be able to accomplish the mission you came in with.
Fascinating.
It's a little different, yeah.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can see the difference. That's a very good explanation. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't know the difference between Hero's Quest and that too. And the Hero's Quest was that whole we're doing this for the glory of a king or a throne or a kingdom or it's that line of crap that's been going through history. That people have been indoctrinated with, and they're two completely separate things. Uh, but yeah, he's saying you came in with a knowing, an understanding that it may not have unlocked in the way that you would have thought. But it did happen because you were still performing your mission, even if your third eye was closed down. You were still your soul was performing the mission you agreed to come in to do.
Okay, got it.
Hmm. And some people think, oh, why is this happening in my life? Why is this happening in life? Sometimes was the soul's choice to experience it
Yes.
in that expression.
Yeah.
So
And the soul had to know
yeah.
it was dangerous when it came down there because it could come into pretty kind of like the Wild West.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is like it's like we've entered the wild west of the galaxy. Like it's untamed sort of thing. And that's kind of how some of the other galactics see it. Like the ones that are able to watch us from the different densities, they see us as like looking at like a reality show. Like we're looking at an old Old West like a reality show sort of thing. Like, oh yeah, they will figure this out eventually. When they get to this point, sort of thing. They're going. It's like, oh, let's see how this person interacts in this environment and how this person can transmute darkness into light, sort of thing. I've run into that multiple times too.
Well, Chris, we Well,
Hmm?
so do you have any? Because we're putting those in here in the next couple days. Do you have any additional instructions on that?
I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit. The screen
These
froze a little bit.
the
Was it?
things that you sent us that go in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any additional? Is there any type of the ceremony you're supposed to do when you do it, or is any type of mindset or anything like that? Or
Oh, mindset, yes. Be in that heart space mindset when you're putting them in, and see that the dome that they're creating is a positive one that won't keep out the positive entities, only keep out the negative ones. Because we know a strong orgone field will keep out everything if you get it too thick. Uh, if we have too many orgone devices, we've actually captured things that we don't want to capture. And also before you put them in, make sure the whole house is clean and saged and cleansed of anything heavy. And you'll know if something negative is around, or if something fearful is around. So what you do is you just you cleanse the whole environment. Saging will work. Silver works too. Different types of colorful plants will work too. But saging and salting are two tried and true ways of doing it. And the intention put in that this is all clear with the highest good intentions, highest vibrations, and then put the rods in, and you've got a good dome around your place.
excellent, yeah, yeah. And so yeah, and I think Amy knows about that, or my friend knows about that saging and stuff like that, and so none of that so we'll do some type of cleansing like that.
Okay. Yeah. Those have been those rods have proven themselves over and over again. We're also getting meditational ones made with different stones in them for doing meditational purposes, where you can hold them while you're doing the meditational practice. Of the rosa rods are far too powerful for something like that. I tried keeping one in the house with us, when we first got them, and as sensitive as my mother and I are, we had to put them on the porch. They had to the nature energy had to diffuse it and make the dome outside. But the miniature ones that we make can be inside. That we've noticed. But we make ones that are about that big, and those are really good to have for indoors.
Yeah, fascinating. Can't wait to learn more about it as the experience grows.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been interesting channeling the information about these rods and the different coils that are made for them and stuff like that, and how high we can actually take the energy before it's actually harmful. There's actually a certain type that we're forbidden to make because it's too powerful. It has like inverted convex concave cones and stuff in it, and it's too powerful. But this particular type has these cones that are aimed outward inside the coils that are inside, and that's why it basically takes the earth energy and the sun energy and the orgone field that makes the dome. And this is about the top of the mark that we're allowed to make as a strength capability. We said if the orgone field was too strong, a human would go blind from it. But this is not even close to being at that level. But they said if it was taken too far without shielding, a human would go blind from it. Yes, it was the original incarnation of the rods actually that they were using poorly. They were putting human soul shards and everything into them, and it was they were basically sacrificing their own energy on behalf of this alien race that wanted to clear their enemies out of the surface of the earth so they could wander the earth. And I stopped these aliens. When I found out what their true intention was, I helped stop these guys, and we took one of the rods from the original ones, and we knew somebody that could disassemble it, pull it apart, and see what was in it, and we back engineered it. Yeah, we back engineered it and we figured out how it functioned and what ingredients were in it and everything. And so we made ones that were based in source code only.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. I love that. Now, Christopher, do you have any advice for my friend as far as the help you gave them, maintaining that or maybe cleansing or something like that? Just a little bit of advice to offer.
Yeah, well, when like you always know when something is attacking you, like if some of your muscles and nerves start to weaken, if you get like weird twitches and stuff like that, you always know something's trying to attack you, or no, psychic wise, it'll feel like you've been hit by a bus. Like if something like a gray or something is psychic attacking, a reptilian is doing it. Uh, or if you're in your own mind, if you're getting into an argument in a for and against situation in your own head, like if an old memory is popping up and it's like you're engaging in a fight with your own memory. That means something is psychically attacking you. I don't know why this part of it's popping up. This is just what's coming through, but the part of that is to ignore it and just kind of let it just kind of brush away from you or fade away from you. And if you're not attacking or engaging in that or latching onto it, these beings don't have any power. I just feel that that's happening.
Oh, you mean like if an argument, if there's an argument or something, and you refuse to engage,
Uh,
you're denying them the power or
yeah,
something?
you're denying them their power basically. So you see, even in your own mind, there's still maybe an argument if you're arguing with an old memory or thinking of something that's not right. But in any argument, there's always two sides to it. So if you eliminate one of them, the other one dies. The other one fades.
Yeah, I got pulled into a very bizarre situation about maybe less than 2 weeks ago where I was arguing. Somebody was wanting to argue, or they're wanting to actually kind of put me down or something, and I just didn't want to hear it. So I basically, walked away. Well, they realized that they broke their power, so they ran up to me. They ran me, and then they got in front of me or whatever. Well, I was gonna go away again to get away from it, and then I felt like something was holding me there. Maybe not physically, but somehow I just maybe surrendered or something. Anyway, I just I didn't want to subject myself to it. But then they realized, and their eyes got real big, and then they started really doing it.
And revving it up. Yeah, they were
Yeah,
trying. The bad guys were trying to get you to engage in it. Yeah.
yeah, and then they were just doing all this negative stuff. So it was like they were pulling all this energy off of me. And the next thing I know is it's not really like this time, and they're sitting there saying, "Breathe, breathe." In other words, like they're helping, but they're actually the one that was doing it. Or so their eyes got real big when they realized they somehow had me there.
Yeah, yeah. They probably didn't even remember they were doing it. You were basically looking at one of the reptilian or alien
I was.
forces
But
possessing them.
their eyes, it looked like their eyes got this big. And
Yeah, that was because it was one of them. Yeah,
I
it was
mean,
one of them. Yeah.
something happened. I mean, this was real. But I can't say there was any hands or anything holding me. But I don't know what something held me there.
Yeah, because it was that alien was basically controlling that person, and through the effects of transmutation and transconfiguration, you were seeing the form for what it really looked like with the big eyes, and it was trying to hold you there in a paralysis type of state.
Yes.
Is
Yeah,
what it was doing.
I literally was being paralyzed. And then the next thing I know, it's just kind of like, I hope it wasn't just the time, but I was still, the person still had their hands on me. They said, breathe, breathe, like they were helping me. And I was like,
Yeah,
you're sitting there sucking the life out of me. Now you're trying to help me. I mean, yeah, thanks.
yeah. That particular human probably didn't even realize they did it because it was actually that alien force that was doing it the whole time.
Oh, so they probably don't remember any of that, do they?
They probably don't even remember a word of it. They probably just saw you either collapse or lose consciousness or something. They went, "Oh my God, somebody's hurt."
Oh
They
my
didn't realize they were just controlled.
wow.
Yeah,
That's
I've seen it all the time. I've seen
I
people fall under these spells all the time.
yeah, I confronted the person with it maybe about a week later, and they, although they didn't deny it, they didn't say anything, and I could tell they didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah, because they're either that alien force was trying to wipe it from their mind on the spot when you asked them, or they did it before when it happened. But either way, it was forgotten.
Right, but not by me. I mean, I remember it detail for detail.
Because you're in a different frequency bandwidth that the memory doesn't go as easily. They would have to fight to try to take it from you. So it's harder for them to control you than it was that other person. So
Yeah.
they figured to get you engaged in that fight, get you to lower your threshold so they could come at you.
Oh, they were using that person to try to get a hold of me.
yeah, since they couldn't grab you, you're getting more and more immune as time goes on. So they grab somebody that was more like a pawn to try to get you engaged in that. You slide down the pole in frequency, and they got you. You know. hmm Yeah, I feel you and her are starting to, with the amount of attacks you guys, I think, have been under, that you're becoming more like a virus hitting you. Your immune system fights it off after a while, and it becomes harder and harder for these beings to try to latch onto you. And then the more inner work that you do, the less of something these beings can grab onto you with. And if you start doing your inner work and you don't have anything existing there that they can grab hold of, they're lazy. They're going to go to someone else. Uh, uh, they're very lazy creatures. The only time I've ever seen them come in force at me is when I start giving away their game plans or their real playbook, like with the for and against fights and the energy collection and also the worship stuff. When I started giving away their real playbook on how to defeat them, they got angry enough at us to come at us with like full adrenalized, force. And they got that angry. They broke their own playbook just to come at us. And they don't do it very often, but they do get pissed off enough. Sometimes they will try it. Oh yeah, we've been followed several times. My mother has spotted the Men in Black here in Prescott a couple times. Yeah, and hmm? Think of them as more of like wardens, like prison wardens or like prison guards. They're basically making sure. I call them script guards because they're making sure, like, oh, you're supposed to be doing this. We've looked ahead on your timeline. Yes, they had time travel technology at one point. They were able to do this. Looked ahead. That's why how they can dick with people at certain points in their life because they looked at the timeline to see what people would oppose them and where. So they were trying. So they're basically the wardens of that whole system. Some of them are not human, some of them are AI, some are draconian reptilian type agents, and some are of what AI reptilian uh, type agents. That's why they wear the sunglasses even at night because they have those eye slits behind the sunglasses. Yeah, and that's why also some of them are time travel Montauk agents too. That's why their style hasn't changed since like the 1970s, or that 50s look because they came from a different time frame. They're using these time fractures to basically bleed across the time. Yeah. Black-eyed children are basically like greys or like vampiric type entities that are also reptilian in origin. I came to find out, and some of them are AI type origin as well. They're like a hybridization. They're basically gray hybrid type type children, and this is why some people disappear. Is because these children approach their home, and people invite them in thinking they're children, and they get basically eaten. So I found out what happened to some of the missing people is aliens will take them. Some of those troll-like species will take them, and some of these black-eyed children and other reptilian races will consume them as well. That's where some of the missing people go. Uh, yeah, and yeah, the black-eyed children are creepy. I have not encountered them, nor do I want to. I'm not putting that out there. I'm just saying that to my guys right now. I never want to encounter these things, but I've known people to have actually seen these children, and they said they're creepy as hell when they run into them. They're nothing like some of the reports say. They're actually more like they are some of the reports are correct, but they have more like their pale white skin sometimes, and they have like the full black uh, pupil. But you can tell immediately. People can tell immediately. There's nothing human there. Yeah, basically, you're in the presence of my father likes to say presence of pure evil. He's spotted some reptilians before too with the eye slits and some of these things, and he could tell immediately they were pure evil. Yeah, thank you for for having me on here. I actually enjoyed this. I always want to get this information out there. This is some of the aliens playbook. They tend not to, people want to know, and people think they know what these beings are all about, and people need to throw out what they know about some of this stuff. That what we always say: deny the known, and deny the known, and manifest differently, meaning that what you think you know about written history and about some of these creatures, like the reptilians and the greys, completely discard that because it's totally different than what anybody thinks it is. Just to keep existing in the heart space and know that, like, even if you're like engaged in arguments or anything like that, and all this for and against that's happening in the world or in their lives, like some of these things that are happening, like this day-to-day BS that takes place. Like one thing, if it's not one thing, it's another. That's a form of oppression. Always has been, and you can literally rise above that and become unscripted, and these beings cannot touch you. Yeah. A couple of ways. There's the website. Our website is the lifting 2017 .wix site. That's WIX site.com/the lifting. And then there's the email, which is the lifting 2017 at gmail.com. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot to digest there. Some things that I even thought I knew about history and thought I knew about even my own, family lineage were kind of thrown out the window too. So that's been very interesting. And this is JoAnne behind, by the way, right here.
Hi.
There, if you want to say hello to him.
Hi, how are you? Good, good. You guys have a good time? Oh, good. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. Do you enjoy it?
Oh yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Oh, good, good. Well, it was nice to see you. No problem, no problem. That's great. Oh, you gave him all of the instructions?
Yeah, I gave him all
you feel pretty good about it, or? Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, you take care.
Yeah. Thank you, Ayin. I had a lot of fun today. All right, thank you. You both have a good day. Bye bye.